And what in heaven's name brought you to Casablanca?
My health. I came to Casablanca for the waters.
The waters? What waters? We're in the desert.
I was misinformed.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
Love having him on the program. He's Senator Aric Putnam. Senator, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
It's kind of a fun day for me today, to be quite frank. First, weather's getting better, so my attitude just changes. I'm looking at a 40 down the road here. So that helps. I'm going to be quite honest. But then things happen in the political world where guys like you get to come out and we can discuss that almost mean nothing, but kind of mean stuff. So we had the caucuses yesterday. Did you caucus?
I did. Yeah.
I got kind of chewed at a little bit by someone running because I didn't caucus. Got a call, hey, you're going to caucus. I tried that whole caucus thing. Doesn't really fit on me. Plus, I tried very hard to get all sides on here. And, you caucus. I just don't need all the headache of it. But I love them because evidently none of this stuff means anything, but it does. And here's what I want to talk about. So the GOP, we'll go on the GOP side. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. The straw poll comes out, which no one's held to this, right? So it doesn't matter. You know the only people it doesn't matter to? Those at the bottom, right? I mean, they're going to say it doesn't matter. When you look at, and just so folks know, that the poll came out yesterday, 71% went for Lisa Damath. Up in your neck of the woods, right? Yeah, she's up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So she was by far and away the winner of the straw poll. And if you're going to go, Qualls was next, and then Mike Lindell. And after that, it really falls off. Now, I say it doesn't mean anything because no one's held to that. They don't have to vote that way when it comes to time, but why would you muck around? You want your person to win. There are folks that didn't beat undecided in the race. Now, I'm not running anybody's campaign here, but if folks that go to caucus meetings, true political people, right? You don't go to that because it's a good time. You go because you're invested. And you'd rather put undecided than anyone else's name down and you're not held accountable, I think those that lost to undecided have to get out. Am I crazy on this take?
No, I think that works pretty well. Although I got to say, I think undecided is a pretty good candidate on the GOP side.
Well, thank you. Cheap shots, we'll take them all day. But you get my point. So everyone's going to say it doesn't really matter, you're not hold to it. But there were more, I think it was 626 people across the state that went to these things that just, I'm not writing anybody's name. And if you care that little about you could throw your name to, write in, and you could, it makes no sense to me. So I think this has to weed a lot out. Does it not? It's just a straw poll. I get that. But doesn't this say something? And what's weird, your side didn't put out any of this. I don't have any of your side. Why is that?
I don't know, because we primarily just have the one candidate at this point. Like, people have all getting behind him. Everyone's really excited about it. So we actually did a straw poll at my caucus, which was amazing.
Okay.
We had twice as many people as we did 2 years ago.
Okay.
Tons and tons of people. And I cheated because I was walking around with the box collecting the ballots, and I looked at it and I just saw Amy. So,
there's one on there. I get that. But, okay. So that's governor's race.
You're right.
I believe this
should probably find something else to do, because that's not a great sign.
Yeah, and again, we're a lot of these. I mean, other than who was the last one in? I guess Lindell, right? I guess Peggy Bennett did. She got in later, but with this many people in and we're this close, it has to weed some out. That's all I'm saying. So I enjoy that conversation. I'm not trying to rip anybody, but if you're polling less than right in at this point, okay. On your side of the fence, so let's talk a little bit about it. There was a KSTP poll. I think it was KSTP. I got to pull it up here. Yeah, I'm sure it was KSTP. KSTP poll, which put Klobuchar against like the front runners in Minnesota, right? And she wins by 13, 14 points, all the way down to Jensen. She wins by 13, 14 points. It shows a couple of things to me. First off, she never got over 50% on any of those against the others. Now there's 16, 17 undecided yet, but that down here. But it shows pretty much the Republican side, it's 30 to 35%. They're just going to vote for any of those other people, right? That's pretty locked in. I don't think that's a shocker. What I found interesting about the poll, and I'm asking you about it, is it's Senator Amy Klobuchar in Minnesota. Aunt Amy, I call her. Everybody loves her. She's been running for 20 years. There's no human that has 18 and above that doesn't know her name recognition. I was shocked it was at 50% as her high. You know what I mean? She just got in. It was that. I would have said she's going to poll at 60 and the Republicans are going to have to do something to knock that down, tired or whatever. I mean, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. I was stunned by how it was just 50%. Is that a fair analogy? She's on Amy, for God's sakes, in Minnesota.
I don't know. I mean, it's super early in polling wise, but
Yeah.
I think the more important number is the first one you started with, that she beats everybody by 13 or 14%. I think that's pretty key. But I think you're right. Like it's we do kind of all think that she's indestructible, and maybe I told you this. I talked to her on the phone for about an hour, like a week or two ago, and
just seeing how you're doing. You felt a little off, just checking her temp. Okay, good for her. Nice gal.
You wanted to sell me a magazine subscription. I don't know what it was, but we're talking for a while.
She's like a Girl Scout. You know what? If you sign this up, I'll get a skateboard. Once I hit $100. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
So it was cool. We had a great chat, but she said, I was talking to Chuck this morning. Chuck Schumer. She's like, I talked to Chuck this morning, and she's like, Chuck was like, why would you run for governor? Everybody in Minnesota loves you, and they're not going to when you're governor. You can't stay loved. And she's like,
there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it because for the most part, I mean, she plays. She talks about reaching across the aisle at the Senate. She's an aisle person who can bring people together. She's going to have to come to Minnesota and say, I stand for this, I stand for that. Is she going to be able to, quote unquote, separate herself? She's going to have to. So that's kind of my point. If she's starting at 50, where I thought she'd be at 60, 65, I don't know how you're undecided with Amy right now. Well, Senator Klobuchar. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Those undecided, you know them. You may not know the 12th guy that's running on the Republican side, because I didn't know who he was. When you poll against him, it's like, I don't know. You might be undecided yet. I get that. But with her, I don't know that a lot of undecideds, why? We all know Senator Klobuchar. You know what I'm saying? That's what scares me for her. That's my political analysis. I'm sticking to it until you tell me I'm wrong. I'm not saying she's lost. Like you say, she's 13 points ahead, but no one started running against her yet. And I would have just thought it was higher in Minnesota. That's all. She's the most beloved Minnesota politician since, what, Wellstone?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a fair point, but I'd also say that she's a monster of a campaigner.
Oh,
wickedly disciplined, and she works her butt off. She works other people's butts off too. So
and she'll have the money. The other thing, I mean, not that money should matter, but it does. We're all honest, right? It does. So she's going to have the money, and that's going to be interesting. And I don't know that I see, and I say this about Lindell only because supposedly he hangs with Trump or did or whatever. He might be able to raise money, but I don't see a lot on the other that are going to raise Klobuchar kind of money. Is that fair? I just don't see it. Okay.
And if Lisa is the person, she can be nice, but she's not inspiring.
Well, even if it's inspiring, does she know the people? Amy Klobuchar has been a senator for 20 years. Just being a senator for 20 years, a lot of people with money come through your life. And I mean that, show up and ask you about this bill, that you are going to meet all the right people. She's not met anyone. And she even ran for president. She has not met anybody, right? Nothing against Lisa Dameth, but the same people aren't running up to Lisa Dameth saying, oh, Speaker of the House, can I, Minnesota. So I'm not ripping either one, but I'm just saying that money-wise, that just seems to fall their way so large. The other poll, which I found fascinating today, again, KSTP, they're out there spending their money. Why is everybody else not doing polls? KSTP doing the polls. They ran a poll for the Senate race, and undecided is still 26%, so this obviously goes a long way. Top candidate, Angie Craig got 20%, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, 19%, Michelle Tafoya now, latest one in there, she's got 13%, Ron White, 7%, I don't know who Wheeler is, 5%, Swarzy 3%, Hand 2%. To me, that was interesting. Peggy Flanagan, Lieutenant Flanagan, put out that her polling showed her up 14% over Craig, which kind of pissed the Craig people off by the by. But they said, that's your own polling, yada, yada. But this poll by KSTP shows it's neck and neck, 1%. I mean, let's not squibble. But it is that close. And what I get interesting is Tafoya comes in at 13 a week into this bad boy, overtaking all the others on the other side. I find that remarkable because I think Craig and Flanagan are going to have to separate themselves. I think the glove's got to come off. Now, Will on the right side, too. I mean, we'll talk to Tafoya in a second. But Flanagan and Craig, they're going to have to separate themselves. There's going to have to be some yeah, but she, and I don't think that helps What do you think of the race that those two could be that closely tied?
I think it's pretty interesting. So, they've been poking each other a little bit already. I think they're going to stop poking each other as much because now everyone's
Oh,
also kind of auditioning to get appointed to Amy's position when she becomes governor.
oh, see,
So
that's
I think
no.
that's going to make people behave a little bit nicer toward each other, I hope. My prediction, and I'm completely wrong, but probably right, I don't know, is that, Peggy's probably going to get the DFL endorsement, and then
Okay.
Angie's going to win the primary. And
Mhm.
then Angie wins the final thing, probably like 55-45. Because with Amy at the top of the ticket, everyone gets a couple extra points, I think.
Yeah.
And Angie has pretty good statewide
What
mojo. So.
what do you think happens, honestly? Because I think if we get to the point where Klobuchar is winning and the other two are saying, great, I want the Senate seat, but if I can't win the Senate seat, Klobuchar will give me the other Senate seat. That is so, from my side, that is so inside baseball wrong that I think it could have backlash. You know what I'm saying? The other one they're going around, they'll give it to Walls. Okay, he's not going to run. But my point is, that's that weird taste in your mouth that, oh, you didn't win the Senate seat, you didn't win your thing, but the one who won the governor is going to give it to you anyway. I don't know that that would fly. Do you think that would fly in the long run? I think it could have a backwash. It's not fun the way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is inside baseball, but it's also not surprising. That's kind of how things go. I mean, it's not as bad as
Yeah.
Rod Blagojevich. Remember him when he sold
Yeah.
an appointment?
Well,
But
at least he made some. I'm just kidding. It's American Dream. I agree with you. That's smarmier. But are we talking the level of schmalmy? How smarmy are we going to get? I don't know that that flies. I mean, we don't know. We won't know that for a while. I don't know the last time we saw that happen. Let's go.
What's important though is it's going to be a party insider anyway. It's going to be inside
Yeah.
baseball anyway. It just looks worse, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
She just lost the Senate race to this gal. Well, we'll give her the other Senate seat. It just looks worse. Yes, it will be someone that Klobuchar knows. I understand. I got to go to break. I want to talk the other side. I think the Tafoya thing is an interesting run as well. We'll talk about that with Senator Aric Putnam right after this.
Chanhassen Dinner Theatres proudly presents Guys and Dolls, packed with comedy, romance, dazzling dance numbers, and unforgettable characters. This Tony Award-winning Best Musical takes you from the gritty streets of New York to the colorful cafes of Havana. It's a high-rolling musical spectacular everyone will love. Don't wait. Visit chanhassendt.com and grab your tickets today. Guys and Dolls. Chanhassen Dinner Theatres, always entertaining you.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Easily offended? The Al Travis Show is not for you. The Al Travis Show. All sides are welcome.
And we got him, Senator Aric Putnam, on. Just put a quick little bow on what we're talking about in the Senate race on the Democratic side. Senator Smith says she's not weighing in. I'm not weighing in on this bad boy. Well, and I'm teasing. I'm going to put my thoughts behind Lieutenant Governor Flanagan. I don't really care. That makes no never mind to me. Then Congressman Phillips comes out, throws his towards Angie Craig. That stuff doesn't matter to me. Can you tell me why Smith would have come out originally and said, I won't be backing anybody, and then change her mind? It's like we don't have tape or the internet or some way of looking that up. It just seems like an unforced error. And again, she can vote for whoever she wants and put her back. It makes no never mind to me. It just seems like, really? Why would you even said that earlier?
I don't know. I think Tina's awesome. She's one of the few folks in politics who I actually really dig.
Okay.
I don't know why she would make that decision to say no. I don't know why she changed her mind about.
Well, and so back earlier, it's like, okay, I don't want to get trapped in anything. I'm going to hold off. I'll let you know if I wanted to. She could have done that, but said I'm not going to endorse. It just seems weird. But my point is, I love this because now Phillips gets in. That race now becomes interesting to me, which it hasn't been for forever. So I'm excited about it, and we'll talk more as we go. The one that should interest you guys on your side, Michelle Tafoya gets in. She gets 13% on this poll, double the next guy, Royce White, who ran a year ago. So obviously the lead contender. They haven't started ripping her yet. I mean, I don't think this is anywhere near a done deal on the right side. First off, she was not a big Trump fan. Well, I can't say that. She had asked Trump not to run 4 years ago, then said we didn't need it anymore. She says she's kind of walked that back. She gets it. But she's also pro-life, pro-choice candidate on the Republican side. I think that helps her in Minnesota. That's not going to be a hurt for her. But I don't know if you can get past the endorsement with it. So when the Royce Whites and the Swarzes and the Hands start ripping on her, I don't know that that's necessarily a gimme for her. Isn't it going to be fun to watch all this? I just love this. Is going to be so much fun.
I don't know anything about Michelle Tafoya at all, absolutely nothing. And I've seen her recently make some statements that sound pretty Trumpy. So it sounds like she's trying to find a space for herself over there, which is pretty great. I don't know if Royce Wright's really running or if he's just trying to raise money to pay off his stripper bill. So,
you know what? I wouldn't allow that, except it's kind of true. The one thing, I don't know much about him, but when they spent the rest of their campaign money at a strip club in Florida, and his answer to that was, they had good food, that's why we went. I'm sorry, even Al has a small problem with that. I mean, he's got to figure out how to get around that. That was just the wrong answer. And at some points, it's like so wrong. It's like, who's your campaign guy, for heaven's sake? So I will let that comment go. We don't often talk strippers on the show, but okay, that can go. I don't know where that goes for him, but I think if that is, and you're saying you think Craig wins that, the what do you want to say? Not the caucus, the primary.
Yeah.
And it's Tafoya. I think that becomes a very interesting race.
No, I agree. I think that does sound pretty neat because
who's more suburban housewifey?
Right. And the contrast seems clear with Tafoya and Flanagan, but I think you're right. It's a different kind of race between.
Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about. How are things going to school up there for you guys? Life treating you well?
Yeah, it's going all right. So I don't teach in the spring semester because I'm supposed to do this politics stuff.
Oh, yeah. You got that going on.
I've got a bunch of college interns that I think you would like. I got a whole bunch of young people working with me, which is super fun.
Anyone want to do some radio? I'd love to get them on. I have this Allison Nessie. I'd love to find a spot for them, and because I think one thing we're missing here is what the young kids are thinking and how they think, and I'd love to do that. If you find somebody you think is well spoken, I'd love to have them on. Yeah, I would like that very much.
Oh, that would be super fun. Like during our normal time, I'll just have some young folks with me too, or do you want to fire me?
Well, if you'd like to try them out, we can try them out. I would give them a spot, but no, I'll find them a spot. If they're any good, I'd like
totally that. Last night after caucuses, I went out to Buffalo Wild Wings with like 12 of them. Because there's just a bunch of folks, college students, totally engaged, really want to do stuff, lots of questions.
And if they want to do that, we'd find a time that maybe works for most of them and they can rotate around. I'd love that. I think we're missing that young person's voice in here. Allison Nessie, I think from your side, basically, is the youngest I get on here. And I'm just guessing, I'm not trying to put an ageist thing on there. But she's about as young as we get, and I enjoy her very, very much. So, yeah, I think we could do that. Now, one quick last question for you. 6 months ago, June, July, this was going to be all about gun control. For the next 4 months, it was nothing but fraud. And now it's the ICE stuff. You are less than 2 weeks away from going back to work. I say that sarcastically. What's going to be the topic du jour? What is it you're going to have to work on?
I think all three of those things are going to fight with each other for airtime and for
really?
attention. And I don't know which one is going to pop up. What I expect is that people are going to be really ambitious about all three of those things, and then we're going to end up with things that are kind of tepid and tolerable instead of the big epical things that everybody wants to do, which is kind of what politics is supposed to do anyway, right? You're supposed to come in with a sharp knife and have it dulled down to something that's useful.
It's sad that we're in this election cycle where every human is going to run for their seat this year, because with that, then everyone's going to need some place to hide and not have it said, I took this vote on the thing which crushes me. And it just gives us a watered down. It's unfortunate what is happening this year, but it is what it is. So, is that a bad take?
No, I think that's spot on. That's my guess about what's happening. But, I'm always wrong. So
I noticed that.
I've been doing this for forever. So anything can happen.
I appreciate you being on. We're out of time. Do it again next week, sir.
Anytime, my friend. I'll see you next week.
Senator Aric Putnam on the Al Travis